All right, everybody, get ready, because today we are taking a deep dive into a listener request. And let me tell you, this one is a doozy. We're cracking open Adam's birthday book to see what it says about folks born on January 29th.
Buckle up, because according to Adam, those January 29th babies are compassionate combatants. And that little tidbit is just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, compassionate combatants. Now, that is an interesting combo. It's like, are they going to fight for world peace, or are they going to challenge it to a duel?
Right. It's a bit of a head scratcher, but that's what makes this so fascinating. They're definitely the kind of folks who stand up for what they believe in, but they're not about that in-your-face kind of fight.
So more like they pick their battles carefully.
Exactly. In fact, Adam mentions that they hate imposing their views on others, which I think speaks volumes.
So it's more about bringing people together through understanding and shared values.
You hit the nail on the head. These are your ultimate team players, always striving for harmony. Which is interesting because there's this whole other side to them, this surprisingly passive side.
Hold on, wait. Did you say passive? As in laid back, go with the flow passive? How does that work with the whole compassionate combatant thing?
It's one of those intriguing contradictions you find in people sometimes. This passive side is actually what makes them so open-minded, willing to see all sides of a situation.
Which I gotta say is a pretty valuable trait when you think about it, especially in today's world. But I can also see how that could be a double-edged sword.
You're absolutely right. Adam even points out that this tendency toward passivity can sometimes lead to indecision, even difficulty in leaving situations that aren't good for them. He even uses the words stall, put off crucial decisions, and lose direction.
Oof, that's gotta be tough. It's like that feeling of wanting to make a change but hesitating, not quite sure which way to jump. I know I've been there.
I think a lot of us have, and it actually ties into another major theme. Adam talks about this constant yearning for more, like they're never quite content with what they have, always looking towards what's next.
It's that whole grass is always greener syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Like you find a sense of security, which we all crave, but then bam, you start craving freedom and change again.
It's like this constant push and pull between needing security and wanting something more. And this internal struggle is even more obvious when you look at the numerology of January 29th.
Oh, so tell me, what's so special about the numerology of being born on January 29th?
Well, for starters, it's heavily influenced by the number 2 in the moon, which, as we talked about, emphasizes their desire for collaboration and harmony. But it goes even deeper than that.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
The emphasis on 2 says a lot about the compassionate combatant. It's not just about seeking harmony, it's about recognizing the power of unity. These individuals understand that there's strength in numbers and find motivation in shared goals. They are all about building consensus and working together towards a common purpose.
I can totally see that. So where does the moon come in? There's got to be some lunar magic happening here.
Right. The moon adds a whole other layer of complexity, highlighting their incredible emotional depth and intuition. It suggests a strong connection to their inner world, a sensitivity to the subtle energies around them.
So they're really in tune with their own emotions and the vibes they get from others, huh? That's got to be a superpower in itself.
You could say that, but keep in mind, the moon is all about cycles and fluctuations, right? So their emotional seas aren't always smooth sailing. They might go through periods of intense emotions, followed by moments of kind of like needing to recharge their batteries.
Which, when you think about their constant search for balance, makes sense. Maybe part of the struggle is finding that equilibrium within themselves first and then projecting that outwards.
Now you're getting it. And there's another layer to this whole thing. January 29th falls under Aquarius, right? And Aquarius is ruled by Uranus.
Oh, Uranus, the planet of innovation, the rebel of the zodiac. Now that throws an interesting twist into the mix.
It sure does. This Uranian influence speaks to their independent streak, their unique way of looking at the world. They might challenge the norm, surprise you with their unconventional approach to, well, pretty much everything.
This is getting more and more interesting. And speaking of interesting, Adam's birthday book also links January 29th with a specific tarot card, the High Priestess. Even for someone like me who dabbles in tarot, that card has always felt kind of mysterious.
The High Priestess is all about uncovering those hidden depths, trusting your intuition. She represents that inner voice, the wisdom we can tap into when we take the time to really listen to ourselves.
Which, thinking back to the moon's influence, makes total sense. It's like this recurring theme of finding answers by looking inward.
Exactly. Just like the High Priestess stands at the threshold between what's known and unknown, these individuals often find themselves navigating similar spaces. They're drawn to explore life's mysteries, trusting their gut even when it leads them off the beaten path.
It's like they understand that the most important answers aren't always obvious. They're not afraid to embrace the gray areas.
You got it. And Adam's birthday book doesn't just stop at insights and interpretations. It offers some practical advice for our January 29th listeners.
Yeah, and it's pretty straight to the point advice, too. Toughen up a bit. Now, before everyone goes and sends us hate mail, let's break that down a little.
It's not about becoming insensitive or uncaring, right? It's more about self-worth, recognizing their own value, and setting healthy boundaries in their relationships.
It's about learning to advocate for themselves. Because let's face it, if they don't, who will?
Exactly. And this ties into another gem of advice from Adam's birthday book. How will anyone know if you don't tell them?
Communication is key. It's easy to forget that sometimes, especially for those who are naturally inclined to see all sides and want to keep things harmonious. But sometimes you just got to speak your truth, even if it might ruffle a few feathers along the way.
Absolutely. And Adam leaves us with a final thought-provoking message, a little something to ponder. Life itself feels no need to compromise.
Ooh, I like that. It's kind of a call to action, a reminder that it's okay to be our authentic selves, contradictions and all. We don't need to apologize for the beautiful, messy complexity that makes us unique.
It's true. It's about recognizing that we don't have to fit ourselves into some perfect little box. Life isn't always predictable or easy, and that's okay. Actually, that's what makes it interesting.
It's like those contradictions, the seeming clashes, the compassionate warrior, the need for security, battling with that desire for more. They're not flaws. They're what make these folks so interesting.
Exactly. It's all part of the package, right? And understanding those nuances, those contradictions, well, it can be really eye-opening. And not just for people born on January 29th, but for anyone who knows and loves them.
It's all about embracing that beautiful, messy complexity. This whole conversation has got me thinking, maybe we've all got a little compassionate combatant inside us somewhere.
Oh, I totally agree. We all have that desire to fight for what we think is right, but to do it with empathy and understanding.
Finding that balance within ourselves, realizing that strength and compassion can actually work together, now that's something to strive for. Well, folks, we've journeyed deep into the world of Adam's birthday book, exploring the ups and downs of those January 29th folks.
We've navigated through numerology, got a little mystical with the tarot, and even touched on some cosmic energy, all thanks to this unique little book.
And hopefully we've sparked some self-reflection along the way. So if today's deep dive resonated with you, or if you know a certain someone born on January 29th, we want to hear from you.
Share your thoughts, your stories, your interpretations of this whole compassionate combatant idea. We're all ears.
And if you're hungry for more deep dives into the unknown, don't forget to subscribe and tell a friend about the show. Until next time, keep those minds open, keep exploring, and keep embracing all the beautiful contradictions that make you, well, you.